bring them sounds at one time.
I'm up early in the morning, to get the skrilla. Blue face pillar, the blade dealer. Make a nigga forfeit, cause I'm the realest. Niggas talking short shit, I need a million.
Big stepper, yeah, bitch I be steppin'. Coolin' kit with the flip switch, bitch that's the weapon. No drama.
Welcome to New York Giants Full Access.
Legend, bring them sounds at one time.
I'm hard, and we got you. And that's it, man. Go purchase Big Pat Sports Talk merch and support the family, man. And welcome to Big Pat Sports Talk. Thank you for your support. The offensive line for this franchise. As you guys know, with the Big Blue Crew, me, NYG, Lou, Miz, Joe, plethora of other guys, we have been talking about getting this offensive line built for the past 4 years since we've been doing this. And this free agency period. What's going on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all platforms? Welcome to another episode of New York Giants Full Access with your boy Big Pat Sports Talk. And today's subject of the New York Giants finally, in the past over 10 years to be actual, over a decade, has Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll finally built an offensive line for the New York Giants, for whoever the quarterback is? Have they actually built the offensive line for this franchise? As you guys know, with the Big Blue Crew, me, NYG, Lou, Miz, Joe, plethora of other guys, we have been talking about getting this offensive line built for the past 4 years since we've been doing this. And this free agency period, Joe Schoen went out and got Jon Runyan Jr. You got Jermaine Illuminor. And he's gotten 3 other offensive linemen to pair with Andrew Thomas, John Michael Schmitz, and Evan Neal. Let's first talk about the new additions in Illuminor and Jon Runyan. Now, Jon Runyan Jr., as you know, his dad played right tackle for the Eagles for years, going against Michael Strahan, Hall of Fame guy. Jon Runyan Jr., we all know, has played left guard, right guard, and tackle some in his career. He prefers the left guard position, but he'll see exactly where he will play this upcoming season. Now, is he some game breaker guard that we signed? A lot of people will say no, because he's not a popular name out there like a Hunt or the guy from the Rams. He wasn't, wasn't a Dawson, I believe. He wasn't a big name out there like that. He was like a second tier, 3 years, $30 million. But he brings experience to the table. And the best thing that I think that he brings is his pass blocking. That's 1. And 2, health. This guy started many games, hasn't been injured much in his career. And that's one of the main things that we need on this team, period. People that can stay healthy, people that we can continue to put on the field. And Jon Runyan is one of those guys. What I do think he brings is a veteran presence at the guard position to help out Schmitz at center. I believe he helps this team tremendously. And a lot of guys, you know, people on Twitter are poo-pooing him because he wasn't one of those guys that signed for $20 million a year. He only signed for $10 million. But I think this guy can bring some stability at the guard position for us. I believe he's going to be working day in, day out. He's going to be dependable. We can depend on this man to be on the field on Sundays. Unlike Joshua Zudu, unlike Marcus McKeithen. Unlike Brent Bredesen that was hurt at times. Unlike Shane Lemieux that was always hurt. So John Runyan, I believe, is a major upgrade for what we've had over those aforementioned names that I just mentioned. And I believe he's going to be a stable piece. Now, the things he has to work on, yes, he has to be a little bit stronger in the run game. Because I want to run the ball with this team this upcoming season, because that will help out our new quarterback, or if it's still Daniel Jones, or if it's Drew Lock. Doesn't matter which quarterback it is, Tommy DeVito, whoever. I think a solid run game helps us out tremendously. So that's John Runyan. I believe he's going to be a solid veteran, and he's going to give us a solid play on the field. Now the other new guy, another versatile guy, Jermaine Illuminor. Played right tackle and right guard for the Raiders. Didn't start off his career too hot, but the past 2 to 3 years, he's been pretty doggone good. And what this guy brings is another stable veteran to put around John Michael Schmitz to make his center job easier. John Michael Schmitz's job is pretty hard at the center position because he has to call out shifts, he has to call out the mic, he has to do all that, and he's in his rookie season. Now he will be in his second season, but I believe having 2 solid guards right by him will help him out tremendously. He couldn't depend on a Ben Bredesen. He couldn't depend on a Marcus McKeithen. Half the time he couldn't depend on a Glowinski. But I think he could depend on these 2 guys that we just got in free agency for sure. If you go peep out Illuminor's interview, it was a doggone good interview, man. And this guy wants to be here. This guy wants to be the best. And this guy is dependable. He's not injured. And he brings a nastiness to the offensive line. See, if he's at the right guard position, let's run it towards Illuminor. That dude is nasty. He doesn't fear anybody, and he's ready to put his hands on somebody. And I believe our running game going towards the right this season with Singletary could be pretty good, running behind Illuminor, Schmitz, and Evan Neal. So I think the 2 new pickups that we got in Illuminor and John Runyan is going to stabilize this line. It's going to make it where this line, am I saying they're going to be a top-ranked offensive line? No. But I know we're not going to be 31, 32 anymore. Let's get to top 15, top 20. Let's get there and see what happens. See if our quarterback can survive. If we could just do that. So that's my opinion on the 2 guys that we signed in free agency. And Illuminor, his versatility as well. He can play right tackle, right guard, left guard. He doesn't care where you put him. He just wants to start. And those are the type of guys that I want on this team. Because those are the type of guys that we had the last time we made some good Super Bowl runs. People like Sean O'Hare and everybody. They just did their job. No matter where you put them, they were going to do their job. I think we got some guys like that on this offensive line now. Well, now let's talk about the elephant in the room, Evan Neal. Is Evan Neal going to step up to the plate this year and be the number 7 overall pick that we picked? Because we're going to need him to step up, especially if he's at the right tackle position. We need Evan Neal to step up. This is not a bash piece on Evan Neal, but he has to get better. His balance has to get better. His footwork has to get better. And his whole blocking technique has to get better in order for this offensive line to take the next step. In order to be an offensive line to be reckoned with. It's really going to start with him because we know what we're going to get from Andrew Thomas. I believe we're going to get very good stability from John Runyan Jr. John Michael Schmitz struggled a little bit in his rookie campaign, but I believe he's going to be one good center. Illuminor, he's ready to play. His attitude, one of the best interviews I've heard with the New York Giants in a long time. He's ready to play. It starts with Evan Neal, man. Because if Evan Neal plays solid and we can get solid play from each position, folks, that's a good offensive line. Not saying it's Hall of Famers like the Dallas Cowboys offensive lines back in the day and current. Not going to be like the Eagles offensive line currently. But it's going to be an offensive line that commands respect. It's going to be an offensive line that allows us to open up the playbook. It's going to be an offensive line that can allow us to make good pass plays down the field. It's going to be an offensive line that can give the quarterback a little bit of confidence out there. It's going to be an offensive line that allows us to pick up 3rd and 1 and 3rd and inches. It's going to be an offensive line that boosts this team. An offensive line that helps to change the move. But it starts with Evan Neal. So, let's just say Evan Neal comes out and struggles. Let me ask you guys this. How many games do you give Evan Neal before you put Illuminor at right tackle and maybe move Evan Neal to guard? How many games do you give him? Because I've been talking it over with my brother Miz. And he said, man, this franchise is a joke if you give up on Evan Neal. Because he was a top draft pick and we put a lot of resources into Evan Neal. That is very true. But this will be year 3. What if he shows that he can't stay healthy again? What if he shows that he's giving up the edge immediately again? What if he shows that he hasn't got his balance corrected yet? What if he shows that he's not playing NFL caliber right tackle again? How many games do you give him into this season before you let him wreck it? And once again, I am all for giving Evan Neal his shot because he deserves his shot. This is only year 3. But the point that NYG brings up, another one of my brothers with the Big Blue Crew, is his 5th-year option is coming up. He will play this year, and then next year, you have to decide if you're going to give him his 5th-year option by the 2026 offseason. So I think he will have to show some improvement pretty quick in order for us to put more resources into Evan Neal. See, Evan Neal was the key again to this offensive line. I said Evan Neal would be the key to the offensive line last year. And the way that he started off last year, it was a travesty. Even though Andrew Thomas got hurt, a couple people got hurt. So it's not all on Evan Neal. Don't get it twisted. But if our offensive line is playing solid and we're still getting pressure because Evan Neal has not developed under our new offensive line coach. We got a new offensive line coach. How long do you give him? Do you give him 6 games? Do you give him 10 games? Do you give him a whole season? Do you yank him immediately? These are some of the questions that Brian Daboll is going to have to answer when the season starts. Is Evan Neal the guy? And I know it's coming off a little hard. Oh, I know people going to say, oh, you gave Daniel Jones 6 years. You can't give Evan Neal his shot. Hey, listen. Circumstances got Daniel Jones here for 6 years, but he turned around and he proved it 1 year and got us a playoff victory that year. I need the same turnaround for Evan Neal. But you're doggone right, he does deserve his shot to start at right tackle in the beginning of this year. But me personally, like NYG said, I start cross-training him at guard as well. And I will have to put him at the left guard position because it's something, it looks like it's just something about that right side of the offensive line that he's not, you know, catching on with. But he's the key, man. Because either he's going to be the bright sore spot on his offensive line, or he's going to show that he's one of the pillars of this offensive line. Because he was drafted to be that second pillar to Andrew Thomas. We all know it. If you got any type of sense up here, you all know that he was drafted to be that pillar right tackle to Andrew Thomas's left tackle. So barring no health reasons, everybody stays healthy. Evan Neal, that spotlight's on you this season, Evan Neal. And we gonna see what you gonna do. You've been dominant your whole career, so there's no reason why you should get to the NFL and just turn into an absolute scrub, which you're not. We all know you're not. You're a monster. I do believe he's going to help out this run game tremendously from the jump. But we going to see, Mr. Evan Neal. What you going to do, man? Because if Runyon is solid, Illuminor is solid, Schmitz is solid, Andrew Thomas, you already know he's all pro caliber. It's going to be on you, big brother. And we're going to see exactly what you do. But overall on this episode, I believe the New York Giants have built a solid foundation for the new quarterback, and I believe they've built a solid O-line. We're going to have to see if they stay healthy, and we're going to see if their skills translate with the scheme. So I'm going to be having a heavy watch on this offensive line, an even heavier watch on Evan Neal, and I'm definitely going to be watching this offensive line coach to see if he knows how to use these players the way they're supposed to be used. Because if Evan Neal wasn't getting taught correctly with Bobby Johnson, that could be a huge reason why he's had struggles. And I can't deny that, because coaching is everything. Shout out to Coach. Go check out Coach Ed Gladney. But I like to thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button, hit that big blue subscribe button, that big blue join button as well. And talk your talk with Big Pat Sports Talk and join the Big Blue crew. Go copy some merch from the Big Pat Sports Shop. I see you guys clicking on the shop, man. You guys are clicking. You click, 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 click. Get you a shirt, man. Get you a hoodie, hat, whatever you want to get. Chef hat, buttons, bags, luggage. We got you. But thank you guys for watching. And until the next episode, man, you know what it is, man. Peace.
Let's shine! Let's shine, fellas!
Hey, man, it's time to week, bro. We done put in work all year, bro. Let's go get this tonight, man. Great energy, great intensity. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
With pressure, throws it right to Barkley, makes the catch, starts the pylon, and he's in for the touchdown. Throws it right, intercepted by a pancake. He just floated it, and a pancake gets the pick. Great touch. Howell back to throw, gets sacked for a 35th time.
He can't stop you, right?
Under pressure, sacked back at the 24-yard line. Kayvon Thibodeau closes it out.
Hey, y'all know how NFL man is. I know how
I need you guys. It's what I need.
Welcome to New York Giants Full Access.